you can't have any autonomy in a furniture store or where they sell floors and they have swatches, or um like a carpet store or so. It's too small. Generally it's you and not a lot of other people, and they come right up to you, and nobody leaves you alone. I don't advocate for furniture stores, really. I think we should order our furniture online, and well, with me it's too heavy to bring in the furniture, so I guess I would have to get someone. I mean, are you gonna help? Steve Weiner here from GetRubix.com, and today I'm going to show you a new version of my automatic Hyper-V creation script. Definitely made some improvements to it, and also added a feature that'll hopefully help us test out the Autopilot device preparation faster. So enjoy. I don't even want a new couch now. I'm over it.
Get Rubix, solving for the modern workplace.
Okay, so to get things started, we're gonna go back and look at this create Hyper-V script I made. This was originally an Oliver Kesselback script that I went ahead and modified so that I can quickly make VMs for testing Autopilot, right? Because that's a big part of our job. And physical PCs are sometimes too hard, so this was a really clean way to do it. Now, to get this going and set it up and going over like where to keep your templates of images and stuff, I'm going to put a link below to that, because definitely watch the original if you're not familiar with this solution, so that you get up to speed, because we're not going to cover all those basics here. But if I go ahead, let's go ahead and grab this, right? So I'm just going to grab all this, copy my own stuff, make a new folder, and let's call this Hyper-V V2. That's a fun name. All right, so we're actually gonna open this up with code. We're gonna make an OG Hyper-V.ps1. All right, and then we can look at this, and I want to talk about some things. So basically, with the original, when you run this, you are prompted to put the name of the VM you would like, the version of Windows, because we're going to assume you already have those images built out with different versions, and the count of your CPUs. In which case, I generally do like 2 or 4, it depends how many I'm running. And then from there, we do all this stuff, and you get a brand new VM, and you can boot it up and use it with Windows. So one of the problems, and you get a brand new VM, and you can use that to test Autopilot with. All right, so let's go ahead and try to run this right here. My VM name is going to be Rubix Test 23H2 and 745, what, doesn't matter, random string. The version is Windows 11, 23H2, and 4 CPU counts. So this will make the VM for me, and we'll see it pop up here in a minute. There it is, Rubix Test 23H2. It's ready to go. It has this random thing. I had to type all that out, right? So a little annoying. There's got to be a way we could streamline that. So that's one thing I want to solve. The other piece I want to solve is if I want to start adding these to my corporate identifiers, because remember, when we start really getting into the next wave of Autopilot, it's built around corporate identifiers. So hold on, device enrollment, corporate identifiers. So this is what we were talking about initially, and it's not there yet. Remember, I said they're going to slowly roll it out, but either way, we're going to get to a point where we're going to upload them here ourselves. So wouldn't it be nice to get to a point is when we automated this, we were able to also get all that information out of it. So I'm going to redo this a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy what's here, and I am going to go back and make a V2. So we're going to say V2 of the Hyper-V.ps1 script. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to walk through this because obviously I'm going to make this available in my GitHub, but I think it helps too if we walk through what actually changed. So let's set the original, what I copied from the OG, right? And the first thing I'm going to do is this is not going to be the VM name. What I want to do is I want to basically put in the name of the VM. If it's Rubik's Test or Test Autopilot. And then what I want to do is I want to automatically concatenate the version of Windows I chose with a random 4-digit number, right? So I know the difference of my VMs, just like a unique identifier, okay? So the way we're going to do that is we're going to change VM name to name. Okay, we'll leave version, we'll leave CPU count. So what that'll do, I don't need set location path. I just actually did that before to run it correctly. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a number, and that number is going to do a get random between, I need a 4-digit number, so between 1000 and the maximum will be 10,000. So the biggest will be 9999 or 999. Yeah, 9999 or 1000. So somewhere between there, I'll get my random number. I want it to be a string, so I'm going to call that number string is equal to number to string. And there we go. And now what I want to do is my VM name is now going to be the name I typed plus a hyphen plus the version of Windows I want to use plus another hyphen plus the number string. So now I have my VM name and it's automatically done that for me. So one less thing I have to do. I'm going to leave everything else here the way it copies the disk over. Again, you can see that whole thing down there. But what I want to do at the end is I would love to be able to create this and then spit out the corporate identifiers. So if I want to do that, I'm going to make another parameter. It'll be optional. Parameter, we're going to say mandatory equals false. And it'll be the last position. What did I do here? I did not need that. Okay. So this will be a switch. And the switch will be called Autopilot. And the default will be false. Okay, so what I'm going to do is if that is on, so by default it's off, but if it's on, so if Autopilot, I think it's equal true. So if it exists, I want to take the information I need and output it to a CSV. I'm actually going to put it in a place called Autopilot for now. Ooh, look at that. Well, we'll get to that in a second. So, what do I need to do here? So the first thing I need to do is make a path to export the CSV to. Okay, then what I got to do is get the hardware info, which of course we did this last time, which is manufacturer, model, and serial. And I got to keep them like that and add them to the file. So add to CSV file in path. So here's the tricky part. Where do you get the manufacturer and model from? It's very hard to get these because when the machine is going to be finished being created, it's going to be powered off. So how exactly am I going to get those? Well, luckily we don't have to, right? So I'm going to take an existing machine. So if you get any machine, Windows 11, right, and you function Shift F10, you can grab these values. So these are the same ones I grabbed before. So if I want to know what the model is, I'm going to do get WMI object. Oh, not PowerShell yet. Duh. Type PowerShell. Some MVP. No, I'm joking. Get WMI object class, Win32, computer system, select object, expand property, manufacturer. Microsoft Corporation. So I know that that's my manufacturer. And it's always going to be this way if I keep using Hyper-V. So that's not going to change. So for testing, I have a static value now. So I'm going to add that here just to my notes. Manufacturer equals Microsoft Corporation. We'll come back to that. So the model's got to be the same thing, right? So I'm just going to go back and change this to model. Virtual machine. Yeah, perfect. Virtual machine. Perfect. And the last thing is going to be the serial. Now the serial number, there is a way we can get this once the VM is created and powered off. Now for the serial number, there is a way we can get this while the VM is powered off, because when it's newly created is when I want to grab all this. And I have these static values. So let's go ahead and do that. So my manufacturer, actually, we'll throw that in after. So my serial number is going to be get WMI object, and computer name is the host. So I'm going to say local host. This is the PC I'm on now. The namespace, we can actually start drilling into the virtual elements. So it's root virtualization V2 class. Let's see here. The class is MSVM virtual system settings. Setting data. Okay. What does that mean? Let's talk about this for a minute. So I'm going to take a VM that's powered off. So I'm going to take Rubix Dev 005 5960. You'll remember that, right? And let's kind of explore this node here. So get WMI object, computer name, local host, namespace is root virtualization V2. Class is MSVM virtual. Nope, can't tab that out. That would have been too easy. Virtual system setting data. So what happens if I run this? Okay, that's a lot of information. Can I run that in out grid view to make it easier? Maybe. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I can. So what is this? This is all my VMs and their information. So if you see here, BIOS GUID, BIOS serial number. This is a bunch of information about all my VMs, right? And you can see, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. Now I have some here that have been deleted. So how are we going to get the one we want? How do we tell it? I mean, this machine was just created. Luckily, there is a field called the element name, and the element name is the name I give it, right? So this will change once we have checkpoints, but this machine doesn't have a checkpoint the way we set it up. So we'll be able to find its name. So if I were now to go, okay, setting data, where the object element name is equal to the VM name. So in our case, we specifically want Rubix Dev 005 5960. Told to remember it. Rubix Dev 005 5960. Let's see what happens now. So I'm going to clear the screen. Now I just have the one VM. So this is all the information about it. So it's perfect. So I was able to look for that. And element name, yep, name of the VM. So what do I want here? I need the serial number. Well, we can get it in a few different places. The easiest is the BIOS serial number, right? And that should be it. Now, a way we can check is let's go ahead and boot this guy up and just make sure this is the actual serial number of the device. Because if not, it's not going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, that's not even it. What did I click the wrong thing? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Here we go. Whoa, this is Bob Freeman's device, but that's okay. We're going to borrow you, Bob. Oh. Did Bob change his password on us? No, I don't think so. All right, Bob. We're going to go into the command prompt with you. WMIC BIOS get serial number 59603019. 59603019. There it is. That's the serial number. We can get it while it was powered off. That's when we got it. So what does that mean for us? It means we can select object, expand property, BIOS, serial number. I'm going to clear the screen, and this should just leave me with the serial. Boom! Okay, that's our line. Only this is going to be dynamics. This is going to be the VM name. VM name. We don't need that either. Perfect. So it'll get the current VM, because this won't run until after all this other stuff is done. In fact, just to make sure, I'm going to put an out host here to stop it. Okay, so let's back up a second, because we're very excited we got our serial. First, we have to make the path. Okay, so our path is going to be export path equals C autopilot. And now we're going to check for it. If test path export path, so if it's not there, that's what the exclamation point is saying, make dir export path. And if it is there, of course, we're not going to do anything. Now we already got our serial number, so now we just need to assemble the data string. So I'm going to say data equals Microsoft Corporation virtual machine. Remember, this is a CSV, so it's just commas, no spaces. And serial. That's it. So I can get rid of these, because those are never going to change. And now we just have to add that to the file. So we're going to say set content path. So it's going to go to the export path. And the name of the file, you guessed it, is going to be the name of the VM. Whatever it's named is what we're going to call the CSV, so it matches. Value, data. Okay, so let's see if we can get this going here. What did I do? I messed something up. Parameter. What did I mess up? Oh, you got to be able to spell. Yeah, they don't tell you that part. Okay, take two. Let's clear the screen. Hold on. I don't like... We're already starting off on a poor note. Okay, so I'm going to call this now. We're going to say V2. Oh, V2 Hyper-V. The name is going to be YouTube for you folks. The version is Windows 11 23H2. 4 CPUs. And I'm going to leave the autopilot switch there. So I would expect this now to make a machine that has the naming convention of YouTube-version-something random. And then I want it to spit out the autopilot information in C autopilot, which I do have one from before, but I would expect a new one. And I don't have to worry about the directory being there because I'm checking for it. Let's go. Okay, so look at that. We're going to open up Hyper-V. And if you could see that, we have YouTube-Windows 11 23H2-something random. But now here's the question. Did we output the corporate identifier? And it looks like we did. Let's hit edit and look at that. we have our corporate identifier. So once that's enabled in the new autopilot, we can simply upload that, and now we have our corporate device. I'm really excited about this. The naming thing I should have fixed a while ago. You can call me lazy for that. But, once we get into rapid testing stuff, it's always good to not have to worry about, going through more manual steps. So if you take a look at this, we went right from creating the VM, we got our naming convention, and we got the CSV file. And we could just keep piling them up there. So really excited about that. I want them to enable the corporate identifiers again so we can start testing. Again, this is based off of an automatic Hyper-V creation that I did previously. So if you're not sure, well, how is he getting the machines made? Where's the virtual disk coming from? How, it's just magic typing create Hyper-V or whatever. But watch that first, right? It'll make more sense. I am going to store the script in the GitHub, though, so you can start checking it out. And we'll be seeing you.